Hello inflatable fans, I hope you're well. Testing a new kayak seat today. Not for the first time. I actually bought this a little while ago to try it on the banana catamaran. Now it's an inflatable seat, recommended pressure 2 psi, 0.14 bar. I've got this inflated to 2 psi. I've added these buckles to it because it didn't actually come with any buckles attached. You could just literally feed the straps through on the side of the boat and then feed them back on themselves to set up the back support. So that was actually okay. And then there's a couple of side straps here which you could add buckles to if you wanted to. I haven't done that. Inside here you do have a bladder, so you could actually replace that, but alternatively if you wanted to you could take that bladder out and put your own kind of cushioning in if you wanted to. So if ever that bladder actually goes, you haven't actually lost your seat, you can still utilize it. That's the branding. I got this on Amazon. I'm trying this out in a couple of different boats today. So I've got the Aquaglide Deschutes. That's where I think it'll fare best, but I'm also going to take it out and try it in the Aquatec Ottawa. Don't think I'm going to like it in here, and the reason I don't think I'm going to like it in here is because I'm going to be sat quite high and I don't think I'm going to feel as connected with the boat as I do with a slightly lower, less inflated seat. But I could be wrong because that seat inflates quite firm. There's only one way to find out in this, so I'm going to take the Ottawa out first with it and then I'm going to try it out in the Deschutes. I've got it installed in the Deschutes. I had to squeeze it in actually, so it is a really snug fit in there. I've got the straps adjusted so there's a bit of a backrest on it. I think I'm going to find that too high. Plenty of spare strapping which I've just tucked behind there. One of the things I didn't mention when I was looking at this seat is it does come with a valve adapter to inflate that and this mesh pocket on the back. Anyway, let's get this boat on the water and see what this seat feels like in here. I got more water in there than I intended then. Ah well, it'll dry out, it's a warm day. Might not be as bad as I thought. One of the reasons why I'm not sure whether I'm going to like this is John Ruffles of Rough Paddling fame. He tried a similar seat out in his Sandbanks Optimal and it wasn't as high as this and he didn't like it. So I do feel like I am really high. I mean I am proper above the water. I think you can kind of see that. And it does make this boat feel more rocky. Is it something I can get used to? Is it something I want to get used to? It's quite a blustery day today as well. Do you know what? No, I don't like it. I do think I could get used to it, but I don't like it in this boat. I'm going to try it in the Deschutes and see how that feels. I feel like I've got to be really cautious. Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan of this in this boat. I just feel too high. And this is the thing, when you're looking for a replacement seat, you've got to consider what type of boat, what type of seat and what type of boat it's going in. So I'm going to pull this up here and then swap it out and put it in the Deschutes. I just don't feel connected to the boat. And that, oddly enough, is what John said his problem was when he tried. What was his, was it the bluefin high back or something? It looks like an absolute armchair. A bit like this in many respects. But yeah, don't like it. I've just been sat here rocking the boat about a bit. And yeah, I don't feel, as I say, I don't feel like it's unstable. But I've realised what I feel makes me feel daunted. It's the fact that my arse is higher than the side of the boat, or on the same level of the side of the boat. So it is going to be easier for me to go over the sides. Yeah, I don't want that. I'm going to have to squeeze it in again. Do you know what? I don't think it'll go. It'll certainly, oh there we go. It'll certainly add firmness to the floor and support the thwart. For me, the interesting aspect of this test is the seat that comes with the Aquatec Ottawa is dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Chuck it out, get a replacement. What I have found is the seat that came with the Deschutes isn't great either. However, it's adjustable. It does have a zippable compartment, and I've been using that with an inflatable cushion and a waffle cushioning, and it's so comfortable. I love it. But I've also used that same seat in here. So I might keep that seat in here if this works in here, and keep this seat in here. So anyone want to find out? I'm struggling a little bit at the moment. I've got a bit of a trapped nerve issue, a muscle spasm thing going on in this left shoulder. So I'm not quite as confident as I normally am. It's funny how it affects you that way. That feels alright actually. Now in here, this seat feels really bloody nice. Really nice. It feels really luxurious in here. And really comfortable and safe. And I think one of the reasons for that is because this boat doesn't have a drop stitch floor, it kind of sinks into the floor a little bit. You're more moulded to the water with this seat. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me, and it feels like that's kind of what's going on. And the backrest feels bob on, it feels great. So I'm going to go for a little mooch just up to the edge of this end of this basin and back, just to see how I feel. Yeah, this feels nice. One of my biggest issues, and one of the things I talk about in terms of kayak seats, is I've got an old spinal injury from a car roll accident, and it jarred the bottom of my spine, and so my bottom of my spine very easily goes numb. So I've always gone for something quite cushioned, waffle cushions, orthopedic cushions and inflatable cushions. I've always added those to my seating arrangement in an inflatable kayak. And yeah, often inflatable kayaks, especially the package deals, the seats are naff, absolutely naff. Just about everybody will tell you the same. The only one I've ever had that I can say hand on heart I never had to do anything to was the Aquaglide Chelan. That was the most comfortable boat I've ever had. And it was a bit of a shock really when I got this, the Aquaglide Deschutes, to find that the seat was so comparably naff. But as I say, it only took a minor amendment, and the fact that I like about this boat is the seat is, you can mod it, easily mod it. It's got a zippable pocket, and if all kayak seats came that way, that would be fantastic. So I'm going to set my little mileometer thing, just out of curiosity. I'm not going to go far, maybe half a mile or so, just to see how this feels. Right, we're set, let's go. Bit of a blustery day, not to worry. As I say, not going far. Yeah, got this kind of naffy thing at the moment. What it is the rhombus muscle in the back that connects your scapula to your spine. Part of that's in spasm, so it's making this whole arm a little bit numb, or whole of my left arm a little bit numb, and I've got pain that runs all the way up there, up my tricep muscle, into my back. It's annoying, I've had it a while now. My physio's helping me out, which is the main thing. Really quite blustery as we come out of this basin into the River Ouse. I'm at Naburn Lock. So I've just pulled out of the basin onto the River Ouse, and it just got me thinking. I've just realised why I find this better than in the Ottawa. I'll show you. I think you can see now I am set, even though I'm sat quite high on that big cushion, right, I am still, the sides of my legs are in contact with sides of the boat. Same on both sides. So I don't feel like I'm going to be going, you know, like I'm going to slide off it. Does that make sense? I think it does. Let's go a bit further. I know what you're thinking. Carl, how the hell can you be making a whole video about a ruddy kayak seat? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's bloody important. If you want to go out on a long stint, your comfort is really important. It's as important as the quality of your paddle. It just makes all the difference to your experience when you're on the water. And what it means is, you feel like you can go further. You don't have to stop and stretch your legs and flex your bum cheeks. Yeah, this is really quite nice. Just over there, that's Acaster Malbis launch point. Don't launch from there in an inflatable boat. They charge you a tenner. It's a rip-off. Go to Naban Lock. And if you see Kenny, the lock keeper, say hello. He's a really nice chap. Gotta say, I do feel comfortable. I feel like I could sit in this for a good couple of hours without thinking, oh my ass, my ass. My God, this is beginning to sound like a prison video. Anyway, I need to turn around and go back. I've just realised I've left the Aquatec Ottawa just out on the bankside. The neighbour lock. But yeah. God, Carl, what are you doing? Yeah, comfortable seat, comfortable seat. I'll put a link to this in the video comments and description so you can check it out for yourself. So yeah, I've got back. I did just under half a mile. Not bad guesswork really. Ottawa was still here, obviously. So yeah, I thought that was a bit of an interesting test. It was exactly as I thought. Not very good in that type of craft. Brilliant in this type of craft. And with the Deschutes in particular, I believe, really, because it's got this spreader thwart which creates tension in the floor, and that inflates to 2.5 psi. This cushion, this inflatable cushion, which I've had to force in, inflates to 2 psi. So it effectively adds value to the spreader thwart by helping keep the sides a little bit more pushed out and adding tension to the floor. So yeah, particularly good for the Deschutes, I reckon. Anyway, I'll put a link to that cushion in the pinned comment and description so you can check it out. As I say, I did add these myself. Got these from eBay. I'll put a link in there too for those. You know what to do if you like what I'm doing on this channel in terms of liking, subscribing and all that jazz. You take care of yourself. Cheerio. Nice. So I've packed away the Ottawa that now has the Aquaglide Deschutes seat with it, with the waffle cushion and the inflatable cushion, the one I've been using in there for a while. And that new inflatable cushion is now packed away with the Deschutes. And here are my plans for the old Aqua Ottawa seat. Although, just so you're aware, I have kept all the clip locks off it because they're quite handy.